Game two, Eastern Conference Finals, Pacers Knicks. Game one was a doozy, and I was really hoping the Pacers lost game one because my plan was to bet the Pacers in the series on the adjusted series price had they lost game one. I think the Pacers have a huge advantage the deeper this series goes. They're such a deep team, and they run like a 10-man rotation and think they'll just wear down the Knicks. Cavs head coach Kenny Atkinson talked about how the Pacers just never let up for 48 minutes and play with such a high motor, and that was a big difference in the Cleveland series. Pacers just wore them down physically, and Cleveland's a much deeper team than the Knicks. Knicks really just rely heavily on their five starters. Pacers have quality depth too. They can go four deep on the bench and not really sacrifice anything. I honestly think how having a big three was like the league wide formula to how to win the past decade. The new trend we'll start seeing is depth. I think we start seeing teams construct rosters around having depth, more so than just like two or three studs on their team. Just look at the Thunder. Probably the only other team in the league that is just as deep as the Pacers. Now, with all that said, the Pacers are now favorites in the series after going up 1-0. I'm not betting them minus 160 on the adjusted series price. I was hoping to get them plus 220 or something if they lost game one. But for game two, I think the Knicks do bounce back here. Teams off a loss at home in the playoffs. Very good spot. The market shows this. The Knicks now -6, despite losing outright as 4.5-point favorites. This is the odds makers pricing in the zigzag theory that I've talked about so much in these playoff videos. We had the game one over, which was nice to get like a no-sweat winner. Both teams were tied at 125 at the end of regulation. Didn't even really need overtime. Now, you might think it worked so well in game one. Let's go back to the over again in game two. That's not how this works, unfortunately. The Knicks learned a valuable lesson in game one. They tried to match the pace of play by Indiana. And don't think the Knicks going to want to run with them again in game two. Think we see them slow it way down. I said in game one, the side and total are very correlated here. Pacers and over, Knicks and under. Game one was just such a big adjustment for the Knicks, playing the Pacers open court track meet style, especially after coming off a series against the Celtics that plays the slowest pace in the league and just shoots threes. Now they just face pretty much the exact opposite. I think the Knicks make the necessary adjustments here in game two. I bet them -6. Game two of the Western Conference Finals just ended, and looks like we got both of our player props to cash there. I want to find some for this Knicks-Pacers game. I haven't dug into them yet, but I do like to use the zigzag theory on player props too. It works for a couple reasons. The market always overreacts to what they just saw recently, and teams also make adjustments. So, like, for example, a player that goes off, let's say like Aaron Nesmith, he explodes for 30 points. What happens is his points prop ticks up a point or two based on that scoring outburst, but he's now drawn the attention from the other team and is likely to be defended closer in the next game. Nesmith's points prop has been like 11.5 or 12.5, I think, all playoffs. It's probably up to 14 now. Even though he hasn't scored more than 13 points in the three previous games. And, this works the other way as well. Players who don't have a good game, they're looking to bounce back themselves and might benefit from not being on the opposing team's radar. And their point prop number might dip, giving value on the over. But let me stop here. I'm just rambling now. Let's go Knicks here. If you watched this far, I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. A like and a comment is also appreciated. But until next time, good luck with your bets.